Kathleen again, just checking in for a quick little video. It's been a couple weeks, so I figured I'd do another one. I do have a bunch of, excuse me, of little snippets of video that I'll plug in here. Maybe I'll put them at the end. The last few weeks, things have been going on around here. The chickens, whatever. But I thought I'd check in and kind of share with you guys some of the great things that I've been able to get finished, projects I've been able to get finished, projects that I'm really excited to start, excuse me, and some of the great tools that I've gotten recently that I want to share with you. So let's start with that. Because it's just been Christmas, and some of these were for Christmas presents, and some of them were things I just bought because I needed them. So let's start with Christmas presents. I did get a Chagoo interchangeable needles for Christmas from my hubby. So I already had the small one, and these are I think they're the red, or the twist lace, red twist lace. These are the itty bitty ones. I'm using a set of them right now in a pair of socks, but and I don't even know if I'm going to finish those socks because those were 000s. What was I thinking? They're still sitting in a bag. They're a UFO. But this is the small set because I do knit a lot of socks. So I got this one last year for Christmas, and it's coming super handy. I do 2 at a time socks, magic loop. So it's really handy to have this because I can use the really long cord. And then I like that I've got so many different sizes because, different patterns call for different size needles. So this has been really, really a great set, and I'm very happy with this. So for Christmas this year, I told my hubby I would love to get the larger needles. So, basically I have a complete set now. So this one is let's see, this goes from, can you open this all the way up? I don't know if you, yeah, there we go. So this goes from a US size 2 up to a US size 15. So it's, they're pretty good size. And these are I believe these are the 4-inch. I think these are the 4-inch needles. I like these a lot. Maybe they're the 5s. I can't remember if they're the 4s or 5s. Might be the 5s. But so it's this complete set of needles, and then it has all of the cables. It's got 2 things of cables here, just different sizes. And let's see, one is, this is the 5-inch tip set. So so it's got the small cables, 14-inch through 30-inch. And then large for the bigger needles. So small for the smaller sizes, the ones that are on this side. So the 2 through 8. So 2 through 8, you would use the small cable. It's actually the diameter of the cable is smaller. And then for the other side, the 9 through 15, you use the large, and the cable itself is just beefier. So that way your stitches as they're going across the cable are not staying on the super skinny little cable and then kind of dropping and getting skinny on you. So I love that it's got the different size cables to go with the different size needles too. So I got that set for Christmas. I'm super excited, and I mean, I just absolutely love the case. It's just so pretty. This is me. This case is really me. But I really love these, and it's padded, and I think, in my mind, Chagoos are the best needles out there, honestly. They're super affordable, and I like them better than the Addies. I like them better. Now, different needles have different purposes, and something that's super slippery, you're going to probably want to put on wood or bamboo. I like that this is like kind of an intermediate, because the Addies are super slippery. And even some of the, I think it's Knitter's Pride, I think it's the Dreams, they can be super slippery too sometimes. But these are kind of in between slipperiness wise. So grippy, a little grippy, so when you need it to grip a little bit on the yarn so it doesn't fly off your needles, or for things where you need it to be a little slicker. It's kind of a good all-purpose needle, and I'm really happy with them. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to get this second set here. So I got those. And then, so, you know, you get on Instagram and you think, wow, that looks really cool. These ads you see there, and you think, well, that looks really cool. Wow, I'd love to get one of those. And then you like, I always click on the comments, and I really chuckle when I see how many people say it's like, oh, this is super spammy. I tried to order from them, and that this product doesn't really exist. It's bait and switch or whatever, you know, and or this product is a piece of crap, and it's going to break after your first month of using it. And so there's been one thing that's come up on there that I've always been intrigued by and wanted to try. And if it hadn't been for Christina at Chelsea Yarns actually buying one of these and putting it on her Instagram and talking about it, like that's like, in my mind, is like a user review, and it's worthwhile. So hence why I talk about things like the ChiaoGoo needles, because they are so incredible. Well, I bought one of these. Okay. This is, oh, this might actually be a really fun little thumbnail. I don't know. This is the neck light, and first of all, what I love is that it comes in pink. Pink is my favorite color, so it comes in pink, which I love. It's pretty beefy, so, and it catches my hair because these parts right here are rubbery. So it sits really, really nicely on your neck, and these you can angle in, and this is something they don't show you on those pictures on Instagram. Like, you can move these all over the place. So you can, oh, see, I just turned one on. So you can sit here. Let me grab a pair of socks I'm working on, and I'll show you these in a minute too. So you could sit here, like, this is a fairly dark corner I'm in. You can't really tell, but this is a fairly dark corner I'm in. And if I was knitting on something that was like dark yarn, even when I'm downstairs in my family room in the evening, you know, we keep the lights are on, but we don't have them on super bright because we're trying to watch TV and it's nighttime and we're kind of like, you know, easing out of the day. And so when you're working on something light colored, it's not really a big deal with the ambient lighting in the room. But I was working on something recently, I think it was dark brown, and no, it was my daughter's hat. Oh, I forgot, I should have grabbed that so I could show it to you as one of my finished objects. Oh well. I'll plug a picture in. But I was using a black heathered kind of yarn, and I kind of needed a little bit more light, and so I do have this light here, you can see, and I'll take that downstairs and I'll put that next to the couch when I need it, if I'm working on something that needs, this is an aught light, if I'm working on something that needs some really good lighting, but for the most part it stays up here. But I was sitting there and I was like, I don't want to turn the lights up on everybody. I didn't want to run upstairs and grab that. It's like, I would just love to get one of those neck lights, but they must be a piece of garbage. Come on, they're on Instagram, they're an Instagram ad, they must be a piece of garbage. Well, I am so impressed with these. Okay, because so not only do they have these two lights, and so you can just turn one on if you, oh, there we go. You can just turn one on if you want, and they have different brightnesses. But the other thing, oh, let's turn them up so they're even. Oops. The other thing they have is they have this button that makes the light different tones. So I can make it, I think this one is like natural light. This one is, can you see the difference? This one is a cool white, and this one's a warm light. So yeah, so this is the natural white, like your aught light. This is the cool white, and this is the warm white. And then of course you have all the different brightnesses you could set it. I find I use the natural white more than anything. It would probably depend on, I haven't had it very long, I just had it for like a couple weeks, and I've only used it a couple times, but let's turn them off. I really like this. Like, I could see going, when we go camping, then, because what I was using was my headlight, when I was camping and sitting by the fire in the evening, but then you have to have your face down like this the whole time so that your headlight is shining down, or you have to, if you have a headlight that angles, which is really nice, then you can angle your headlight down, but then you turn to look at somebody and you're like blinding everybody around you when you turn to look and talk to them. This, I just wear it around my neck. It's rechargeable, so I just plug it in with the USB cord to recharge it, and it's good to go. I love this, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this, excuse me, especially as I, if I work on projects that are, you know, darker yarns, things like that. So I like this, and we're back. So I did have the box. This is the light. It's actually, it was only, I think, $18. It might have been on sale on Amazon when I got it, because I got it through Amazon. So I think it might have been on sale when I got it, but it was only $18, and packaged, came really fast, packaged well. The product itself, I mean, this is a user review. This product actually was really good. I'm very happy with it, so I definitely recommend it. If you're considering a neck light, I definitely recommend it. This seems like a really good one. Thank you to Christina for that review yourself, and that's what made me buy it. Okay, so the other acquisition that I got this past month, I guess. Do you remember, of course you remember, the ugly yarn that I dyed? This is the yarn that I dyed using avocado skins and pits, and it turned out a color that, I mean, I feel like this is being, it's fairly close right there. Up here, so I have two lenses on my ring light. I have an amber one and a cool one, just because I feel like it together kind of is a nice color. I think this is actually getting captured by natural light down here. This is pretty true to the color that this is. I wasn't happy with it, right? It was skins and pits, and it turned out kind of a beigey, like crayon flesh tone, and wasn't super thrilled with it. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna donate it. I'm gonna, you know, give it to somebody who wants it. It did slightly felt too when I dyed it, because I was not as careful as I should have been when I was lifting it in and out of the dye bath. Well, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I thought about, well, Kathleen, you could use this yarn, and I have 3 skeins of it. So this is fingering weight yarn, 3 skeins. That's a lot of yarn. I could easily make a cardigan or a pullover or something with it. I'm like, but I don't like the color. I'll never wear it. I could make it and gift it, but when you're knitting with fingering weight yarn, I mean, that's a commitment. So you're knitting a garment in fingering weight, that's a commitment. So I thought, well, wait a minute. I was like looking at another project, I think on Ravelry, I can't remember. And it was 2 strands held together. It was like, you know, fingering weight yarn and mohair. And it was like, ba-bing! Light bulb went off. Kathleen, you're not crazy about this color, but you know when you hold it together with mohair or another yarn, it changes it, right? So I ordered this from my local yarn shop. They only had 1 skein of it, and when I saw it, I was like, that's my yarn. That's the yarn I have to have. That's what I need to pair with this. And they only had 1 skein. So they were able to order me 2, I think they actually ended up ordering, I needed 3 skeins. 1, 2, 3? Yeah, 3 skeins. And they ordered me just 3 skeins altogether, so they'd all be from the same dye lot. It came with this little, let's see what little, it's on a light bulb pin, so it could be a progress keeper that was attached to it. But I'm super excited. I got 3 skeins of this. Oh my god. This beautifulness. Oh, I think the overhead light is kind of, there we go. There we go. That's it right there. This is from Amelia and Philomene, and this is Leona is the yarn, and the colorway is Janet. And let's see, this is in French. It is 72% mohair. Oh, there's stickers over it. 28% silk, Yeah, that's 100% right. 72 and 28. So 72% mohair, 28% silk, and it is a lace weight yarn. And the color is Janet, and it was dyed on November 24th of 2020. But this color, so imagine this color held, there we go, right there's, right, so imagine that with that. I'm really excited about this. I think, so this is the Janet from Amelia and Philomene, is a really nice kind of beigey light plum color. It's not really showing up like I would like it to in here. I'm going to try turning up my ring light and see what happens. Ooh, it's super bright. Oh, no, it's actually not too bad. So, if you look at them together, I think together those are going to be really nice. I think when I pair this lace with the fingering weight yarn, the product it's going to create is really nice. So, I'm going to make the Felix cardigan. Let's turn this light down a little bit. So I'm going to make the Felix cardigan. I don't think I'm going to steek it because I have the mohair silk going into it, so I'm a little worried about steeking it. And hello, I've never steeked anything in my life. One of these days I'll get up the guts to do it. Probably should start with a swatch rather than doing a whole sweater. But, so yeah, so this will be a Felix cardigan. And I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's going to be beautiful. And I can't wait to get started. That said, let's jump into works in progress, because we could talk about why I haven't started that yet, because that's like my fingers are itching to cast that sucker on. The reason I haven't started that yet is because, you know, when you're a knitter and you you want to make all the things, right? You want to make everything that exists you want to make. But so as a knitter, you know, we have so many things we want to make, and there just aren't enough hours in the day or weeks in the year or whatever to get everything done. And so I had a friend who's a very accomplished knitter herself, who sees my posts on Instagram about all the socks that I make and how much, you know, I love them. My husband won't wear any other socks except for wool socks now. He's like ruined for life because he will never buy commercially made like acrylic socks or anything like that anymore. He has gotten some smart wool socks, but he's gotten those because he's worn my socks. And she says she doesn't really have the desire to knit socks. It's, you know, it's not for everybody. I love it. I love the portability of it, and I love the way I can quickly have a finished object. So yeah, so she's, you know, sent me this message saying, kind of in a sheepish way, would you make a pair of socks for me? I know I can make them myself, but would you make a pair of socks for me? And I was like, sure, you know, absolutely. First of all, it gives me another excuse to make a pair of socks, which I don't need an excuse to do, but, you know, when you have already a bunch of handmade socks, like, you're starting to think about, okay, who else can I make socks for? That person has to be sock worthy. That person has to be hand knit sock worthy. And I cannot think of anybody more hand knit sock worthy than another knitter. She's a friend, and she's local, and so I said, okay, you buy the yarn, just make sure it's fingering weight, and if you want heel and toes different, you know, make sure you get the two yarns. So she bought a set, and I have the label here. So she bought the yarn. So I'm just like, I do 2 at a time magic loop, and actually that looks pretty good. So I literally just like a half hour ago got to the stage where I'm going to start doing the heel, and I do a German short row heel. So she bought the yarn at our local yarn shop, and it's a sock kit. And here's the yarn for the heels and toes. So you can see how they're going to be together. This is actually, there's like, that's actually green in there. So like, part of me, when I put the green next to it, I feel like leprechaun. It reminds me of leprechaun. But without that, it feels like an old master's painting, like a Rembrandt, something like that. It really has that, I don't know, there's something about the tone of these colors. Reminds me of an old painting. But, you know, then you add this and I'm thinking, oh, kind of looks like a leprechaun. So this will be the heels and toes. And the yarn she got is a sock kit, and it is from 6 and 7 Fibers. It's the Ranunculus sock set, and it is a full skein of alfalfa and a mini skein of Milo, and they are 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, and they are 100 grams, 382 yards of the alfalfa, the full skein, and 20 grams, 87 yards of the mini skein of Milo. But let me tell you something. This yarn, I actually have never knit with 6 and 7 Fibers before. I've seen them in my shop, but for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess the colors just at the time when I was in there just weren't the colors I was looking for. But this yarn is so nice in the hand. When it comes to socks, you want sock yarn. You don't want it super soft, because if it feels really super soft in your hand, it pills pretty easily. So there's something about, if you have a really soft yarn, then it's going to probably be a little more pilly. This feels like it's somewhere in between the two. This feels like it's very soft on my hand, and it's really nice to work with, but it doesn't feel like a yarn that's going to be pilling very quickly and very easily. So I'm pretty excited about that. So it gives me an excuse to make some socks. I get to hand them off to somebody who's going to appreciate them. And she said, you know, maybe wearing them on her feet will win her over and she'll decide, hey, I want to make socks too. I would love that. I would love if the outcome of this is that she decides she wants to try to make socks on her own. Because you know what? They're not hard to make. They really aren't. Everybody is, you know, that doesn't make socks is always like, I don't know, they're so complicated. I don't know if I want to do that. But really, they're really easy. And when I actually really like the German short row heel. I think it's fun to knit. And it's just so nice when you have these little projects, because you feel like when you're done, it's like it's finished quickly, and at the end of the day, you've got this, you know, very useful item that you're able to either wear yourself or give away. So I really love working on socks. I always have a pair of socks on the needles on the go, and I love mine is in this. That's the company I work for. Mine is in my Jezebel bee bag, and I love this because it's got the, you know, you can put it on your arm, so I can be like going outside to let the dog out, and I can be like standing out on the porch and be knitting while he's out doing his business. So that's a work in progress. My other work in progress that I'm going to show you is one that I am determined to finish this damn project. Pardon my French. It's actually going to be the next thing I knit before I get to my Felix cardigan. It's going to be the next thing I knit because I just want to get it done. I want to be able to wear it, right? I just want to get it done. You've seen it on here before. I've shown it before. It's the breathing space sweater. So I told you guys the last time I redid it. I literally ripped it all the way out to the yoke and re-knit it in a smaller size. And then I decided I wanted to do my sleeves 2 at a time. I thought, well, if I could do socks 2 at a time, I can do sleeves 2 at a time. Duh. So I picked up all my stitches on one sleeve, and then I picked up all my stitches on the other sleeve, and I'm going along, and it's striped, of course, so you're going to have, I think it's on this side, you know, I've done it so that you don't really see much of a jog. You know, I've done it where you slip the first, when you change colors for the next row, you slip that first stitch so that you don't have too much of a jog. I don't know if you could see that in the striping. And so I'm going along and I'm knitting the sleeves. I don't know, I'm a few inches into the 2 sleeves, and I realize, Kathleen, you should have picked it up a little bit differently, the second sleeve, because now my change of stripes of colors was so one is on the underside of the sleeve. It just kind of continues up from the body, and then it goes to the underside of the sleeve. Well, the other one, it was going down the top of the sleeve, and I was like, oh, you're gonna notice that. Like, you can see it. It's not too bad, but you can still kind of see where the rows change. So I was like, oh crap, I have to rip it out again. So I ripped it out again, put it back on waist yarn, and I just have to get the motivation up to just finish the darn sleeve so I can block and wear this sweater. So what I've decided to do is I had literally I picked up from the underarm and knit around both. No. Actually, that might have been my mistake. Now I think of it. No, I have to pick up this sleeve from the same place. So, like, I have to twist the sweater a little bit like this way when I pick it up. Because what I had been doing was just like I picked it up and then almost like folding the sweater in half, and then I actually picked up from here and went down and around. And what I need to do is pick up from here and go around, and then go around and around on the two sleeves, so that I don't have that weird little jog on the outside of the sleeve. So I just kind of, I want to finish those socks first. And then, because there's, that's the whole thing about, when you knit for somebody, then it's kind of takes the fun out of it. It's true to a certain degree. I don't typically knit, on commission or orders or anything like that because of that reason, because there's like this pressure to get it done. But when it's socks, I really enjoy making socks, so I just am pushing myself a little harder because typically I would have socks like just like sitting on the side or whatever to pick up whenever I need, something to knit on. And this time I'm just getting them done. I'm just gonna whip right through them and get them done. And so they're going pretty quickly, and it's a nice yarn to work with, which makes it really, really a fun project. But typically I might put that down for a little bit and then go and pick up the sweater and try and get the sweater done. So once I finish the socks and I give them to the recipient, then I will finish the sleeves on the sweater. So those are my two UFOs. And I did finish a few projects over the holidays, and I don't have them with me because they were gifted. I did make a pair of mittens, and you remember I was not so thrilled with the pattern with the last mittens that I talked about in my last video. It felt like the thumb felt tight, like where your thumb goes in, especially right here on this part of your thumb, it felt tight, and I didn't like that. So I'm trying out other mitten patterns. And I found this one, and so my recipient in my knitting group, we decided to do Elfster, the app Elfster, and give each other, is the title here somewhere? Yes. Give each other something handmade. Didn't have to be handmade by us, but our Secret Santa gift to each other was intended to be something that somebody handmade. Well, because I really enjoyed making those mittens, actually, and I wanted to make another pair, I made her a pair of mittens. It's winter in Colorado, so like it's a perfect gift to give somebody that's something handmade in the winter time that I get the fun of making. So this is a picture of the sample. And it is from Tiny Dino Studios. And I don't know if you can get it on Ravelry. I think I got it from her website, tinydinostudios.com. And this is the free chunky mitten pattern. It might be in Ravelry. And it is with chunky yarn, and what I did instead is I used a skein of Quince & Company Lark. That's their, I think it's just a superwash merino. Might not even, I'm pretty sure it's superwash. Quince & Company Lark. And then I put it together with some Mohair So Soft from Loopy Mango, and the Quince & Company yarn was really great to work with. So I did the cuff, I did just in the Quince & Company, and then I added this in when I got to the wrist, because I don't know about you, but I don't like anything itchy, And so mohair can be a little bit itchy. So I did the cuff in plain wool and then added the mohair for the hand. This looks really cute, so I did the Quince & Company was like in like a deep rose color, and then I paired this with it. Turned out to be a really pretty pair of mittens. But this yarn is really hard to work with. I don't know if you can see. Do you see how long the fibers are in this? Like, it's super halo-y. And it really tugged. My hands were aching. I was using, I think, a size 10 needle, and my 9 or 10, I think it might have been a 10. I think I did 9 in the cuff and 10 in the hand, I can't remember. And my hands ached so much knitting that because I felt like I was fighting the loopy mango. So while the product in the end was really cute, really pretty pair of mittens, and very, very warm, actually, very warm mittens, it was not so great to work with. So I have like 2 half skeins of this left, because I did them 2 at a time like I did my socks. I have 2 half skeins of this left. I'm not sure what I'll use it for. I'll use it for something, but I'm not super excited about using it because it is hard to work with. And I think maybe if I had, I don't even know if slipperier needles would have helped. I don't know. I have my Chagus, and I feel like even on a slippery needle, it's just the motion of creating the stitch. It's not its sliding across the needle that's the problem. It's the actual motion of creating the stitch and the way the fibers tug on them when you're making a stitch. You know, the stitch below that you're knitting into, and then you're creating a stitch through that. It's that process that was, it was hard. It just they didn't slide against each other very easily. So it was, not as much fun. So I finished those. I finished a watch cap for my daughter. I finished a watch cap for my grandson that the United Postal Service lost. So I'm going to have to make him another one. Oh, darn. I did those mittens, and I think that's all my finished objects I did for the month. I do have one other unfinished object that I keep, every time I do a podcast, I always forget and leave this downstairs. And, it's like maybe a Freudian thing. I don't know. Maybe I've shown this to you before. I can't remember. This is something I started in March at the start of the lockdown as part of a cow. And I loved the idea. And I think maybe, so this is the Meditate Cowl. And I think maybe it might be the yarn that is making me super bored with it. So I made a sweater out of the same yarn, and I love the sweater. It's actually, oh shoot, I should have worn it today. It's the Yumi sweater, and I think Yumi is by, I don't know, I'll put a picture of it in here. It's the Yumi sweater, and I wasn't so crazy about how the neck was on the Yumi sweater. It was super open. And, oh, by the way, this is the Relish shawl. The neck was super open, and I just didn't like it. And it's a superwash yarn, so of course, it gives and stretches a little bit more, but I like the sweater. It was pretty, but I was not wearing it because I didn't like the neck. It just felt too open, too exposed, like not what I want a sweater to feel like. So I picked up all the stitches on the edge of the neck, because it had like a rolled, unfinished neck, and I just added some ribbing. And now it's literally my favorite sweater. I absolutely love to wear it. I would wear it every day if I could. And it's actually starting to show kind of evidence of wear. But this is the same yarn. It's from Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and this is how much I've gotten done of the Meditate shawl, and it's pretty much reversible. It pretty much looks the same on both sides. And I think, as I recall, this is a combination of garter stitch, and there's slip stitches in here, but I don't think it's all of these. I don't think all of these would look like columns. I don't think those are all slip stitches. I think there's like, some of them are slip stitches. I can't remember. It's been a while since I was working on it because I got bored with it. So I might rip it out. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to do with that one. It's just kind of sitting there waiting for some attention and love. It might get it, it might not. I have a hat that I started for my husband like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's a Nordic star hat, and I made him one in blue and he loves it, and I was like, oh, I'll make him another one in green. And I'm going along and I'm going, it's too big. Like I'm 3/4 of the way through the hat and it's too big, and I'm like, oh, forget about it. I just like put it in the bag, and it's in a project bag somewhere, and I don't know. I might never pick it up again. I don't know if I'm even going to rip it out. I might just, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with it. Same with that. So, that's it. That's all I've got for now. And we do have, the chickens went on a bit of a hiatus with laying eggs. They were slackers. They were molting. And so they stopped laying. But thankfully, they're starting to lay again. I think there's either 3 or 4 of them that are laying now out of the 13. And I'm sure they'll gradually all start back up again. I probably won't get anything from the Americanas until maybe April, May. The Americanas, I have 2 of them. They seem to only like to lay eggs every other day-ish, only in the warmer months, the longest days of the year. And then they take a break for pretty much 9 months of the year. So, but the others, they're usually pretty reliable, but they've all been molting, and they're all coming out of their molt now, and all of their combs and their wattles are all starting to redden up again, because when they go into their molt, they're using all their energy to generate new feathers, which you can imagine how painful that would be, like growing a tooth only all over your body. So I can tell when it's happening, you know, when it's going to start, because their comb and their wattle will kind of go like this dull, kind of like dried out looking color. And then I can tell when they're going to be laying again, when they're finished molting, and when they're going to start laying again, when those start to redden up again. And they are starting to redden up on the girls. So I have about 3 or 4 of them laying now. I'll put in some video that I've taken recently of just, you know, life with chickens. I've got some other video that I've taken, you know, here and there, whatever, that I'll piece in as well. This will be a bit of a Frankenstein video. And yeah, so this is a little short one, but hopefully you enjoy it. And if, I don't know, there's something you want to see, if you want to see more chickens, just let me know in the comments. If you're interested in learning anything more about care for chickens and how to care for them, and what it's like to own them, I'm happy to share my experience. And any questions about knitting, put those in the comment box below too. And if there are any links that I think you might be interested in the things that I've shown today, like the necklight, then I'll go ahead and put those in the down bar too. So thanks for watching, and look forward to the next podcast. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Kathleen here. Thought I would pop in and do a really quick little video and add it to my podcast because some yummy mail just arrived, and I thought I'd share it with you. Here it is. It's not actually from Knit Crate, although I think they must be maybe related to Dyer Supplier, because that's who this came from. And pardon the crinkles. I personally love crinkles. Slow, methodical crinkles. Maybe we'll get more. And so I have ordered some more yarn. There's more stuff in there, but it's not necessary. I ordered some more yarn to dye, to do my natural dyeing. And I couldn't get the merino, I think it was the merino cashmere, or merino camel. It was merino camel, DK weight. I ordered it, and I ordered it literally right as they were updating their inventory, and they were out of it. I was super excited about it too, because I've never knit with camel before. But so they credited me back, and so I placed an order right away because I want to do some more dyeing. And this time I ordered bulky weight yarn. And this one is, and I don't usually order superwash, but I wanted to try this yarn. So, and I'm still so new to dyeing that I thought, you know, it's worth trying out everything, I guess. But this is their Elegance. So this is from Dyer Supplier. This is their Elegance Superwash Merino, Mohair, and Silk. And it's 45% merino, 45% kid mohair, 10% mulberry silk, South African sourced and spun, and mulesing free. I don't know what mulesing is. I think I have to Google that. And it is bulky / chunky weight. It's approximately, each skein is approximately 167 yards to 100 grams. Single ply. Yum. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I ordered 10 skeins because I wanted a sweater quantity worth. And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This feels so nice. I could definitely feel the mohair, but it's so squishy soft. And since it's superwash, there's less of a chance I'm gonna felt this sucker when I'm dyeing it. But oh gosh, it's so soft. I don't want to put it up against my face because I got a little makeup on, but oh my goodness. It feels like it reminds me of like a nice sweater your grandma might have worn when she, you know, you go to grandma's house and sit on grandma's lap and she give you a hug or whatever. That's what this feels like, grandma's hug. This feels like grandma's hug. Oh, this is wonderful. I cannot wait to dye it. So I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with it. I have a lot of avocado pits. Do I want a pink sweater that's not guaranteed to be a pink sweater? I don't really know. I was thinking about trying some cochineal. I'm also thinking about trying some other natural dye material. I kind of like the idea of maybe gosh, I almost feel like maybe even a natural sweater would be a nice thing. Kind of, clearly I like this color. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I thought I would share this with you because I literally just got it, have never used this yarn before, and wanted to share with you what I thought of it, like first impressions. First impressions are yummy. And I can't wait to think about what I'm gonna dye it with, if I dye it at all. And if you have an opportunity to order from Dyer Supplier, I get nothing from them. This is literally just my review. This is my second order that I've received from them. And both times customer service has been outstanding. Even though my order for my DK weight yarn got canceled when it showed it was shipping, I wasn't in a rush for it because it wasn't a Christmas present or anything, so I didn't really care. So they were super grateful when I emailed them and said, hey, by the way, this is not a Christmas present, so take your time on it. No need to rush this out the door in time for the holidays, because I did order this before Christmas, and it just came today, and today is January 8th. But I told them, no rush. It's not a gift. I can wait. Yeah, so if you're thinking about it, I would say order from them. Look at the sheen. Look at the sheen on that. I know you're getting a little bit of the light that's above me, but it really does. It's the silk in it, right? So it really does have a really nice sheen to it. And I can't remember which podcaster it was, talked about drape. Who was that? I can't remember, but it was really funny because she was holding up a mini skein, I think. She's like, you know, you can tell the drape of a skein of yarn, what the drape is going to be like, by what happens when you hold the skein up. Some skeins stay perfectly straight up. I'm not going to use the word she used. And some skeins, like this one, I mean, that's drape right there. That gives you a really good idea as to what the drape is going to be. And there's like already mohair flying around. So I thought I would share this with you. I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing, and I hope it inspires you to try some yarn dyeing of your own, especially natural yarn dyeing, and to order from these guys, because honestly, aside from their inventory, but everybody's inventory is low right now. Aside from that, the quality of the yarn is really, really good. I'm very happy with it, and I'll let you know what it's like to actually dye it once I get to the dyeing stage. So stay tuned. Not sure when it's going to be, but this will be calling to me from my craft room. I'm sure it's going to be calling my name to do some dyeing. So let's, see what it wants to be. It's going to want to be something. It's going to want to be some color.
and I don't know, let's see what it wants to be. So just want to check in with you guys. Hope everything's going great, and hope you have a happy new year.
Nice and quiet today.